All right, let's get started. So today's Wet Soap Wednesday, we're going to cover a couple things. Over in the Facebook group, I was asked, someone said, hey, someone posted an essential oil blend that they said smells like fresh peaches. I'm like, oh, that was me. I did a peach soap like 2 years ago, and I shared it to the group. And I did kind of an impromptu essential oil blend that to me smelled like fresh peaches. So I was at the farmer's market that year, and the booth right next to me was the peach lady. She had great peaches. Oh my gosh, they're so yummy. And everyone was super excited about the peaches. She had a couple of a lot of peaches get smushed because the box dropped. I'm like, oh, me. I want them. I want those peaches. I'm going to make soap for you. And I did. I made lots and lots and lots of soap with it. And I needed an essential oil blend that kind of made you feel like you were smelling peaches. And the scent of the peaches was not, oh, I'm smelling peach cobbler or cooked peach, which is more of a sweet, sugary, caramelly kind of fruity smell. Because when you think about peaches, they don't really have a smell, but the smell of fresh fruit, especially when you have all that fresh fruit harvested and right next to you, and you just have your face just shoved right in the right peach tree. That's the aroma I believe I got. Now, so I went and looked up my essential oil blend that I had used, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I had used up this Black Currant essential oil that had been part of kind of a gift to me from another soaper. She's a local soap maker, super dear friend. Everything she gave me was purchased from A New Directions, and she just wasn't going to be using essential oils anymore. So I took them off her hands for her. And I had this Black Currant essential oil. I had a bunch of essential oils. So I went to New Directions, downloaded all the data sheets and all that stuff, and because some of them were kind of new to me, including this Black Currant. Well, everyone's like, what's Black Currant? We can't find it. So I'm like, well, I know I had it. I know I had Black Currant essential oil. Where on earth did it go? What happened to it? So yes, there's a Black Currant essential oil, but apparently what I did have, it turns out, was the carrier oil. It did have an aroma to it. I mean, all oils have an aroma to it. So that mystery's been solved. It was the carrier oil in there, but there were other problems with that blend. When I created that blend, Spearmint essential oil had a different usage rate as approved by IFRA. So my wonderful, lovely, it smells like a bunch of fresh peaches essential oil blend. Can't use it anymore. It has too much spearmint. I did go on to EO Calc and worked up a couple substitutions. One of them we're going to be using today in our gummy bear soap. This one is the one I posted in that thread on the group. Lavender, lemongrass, spearmint, cedarwood, peppermint. So I added a little bit of cedarwood to give it some of that kind of base that I'm assuming I got from that Black Currant, and then dropped the spearmint way down low and added a tinge of peppermint to it. So another thing I was thinking though is maybe that cedarwood might be too strong, and I just whipped it up, and there's some clay. I mixed some clay in here with this. We'll mix this into our oils and kind of smush up some of these clumps of clay in here. But as I'm smelling this, the cedarwood is pretty strong. I love cedarwood. Such a great, strong, sticky and essential oil. But I don't want this to smell too much like I'm smelling the peach tree or a fruit tree. I want to go for more of the fruit and the leaves of the tree. So I thought I'd try another blend, and we're just going to do a quick little demo of how I test blends out. I'm switching it over here. So the first issue I have is everything here smells like the cedarwood, this blend over here that I mixed up and we're going to be using in our soap today. So testing any other blends ain't going to happen. My sniffer just isn't going to be able to sniff it. Another interesting fact is that you take 3 people and say, what does this smell? This should smell like peaches. Does it? One of them will say it smells good, and maybe even say it smells like peaches. The other 2, they're going to say it smells bad. It won't smell good to them. I find that fascinating, and it also helps you kind of understand when you're dealing with perfumery, you're never going to please everyone. No one's ever going to think it smells exactly like what you think it smells like. So just keep that in mind when you're working on blends. But since I am here and my nose, my sniffer is filled with cedarwood, I can't test anything else out, but what I can do is prep a blend to test it. Now over on the blog post, and you guys look a little blurry, let me see if I can get you back into focus. There we go. And this is up, so this is up on the blog post. I have my Q-tips, I have a mason jar, I have a lid, and I have my essential oils. Now this is, I don't know if you can see this, I just popped my blend into Soapmaker Pro, and this is the blend I'm using for what we have today. Here's the percentage of it. This is also posted in the group on that thread. And my little dots here are parts. What I'm going to do is just simply swap the cedarwood dot out for an orange one. And by a dot, I mean a part. So you know me and my ratios. So let's go ahead and do this. It's pretty simple. I'll put all the Q-tips in here. Once they've been scented, screw the lid on, and just let it sit for a bit. I'll probably open this up and give it a whiff tomorrow. And that gives everything kind of a chance to settle and blend. So let's just hop to it. This is the Lavender, or Lavender. I'm just going to swipe in here, it's kind of down low, and get, and I'm just, oh, I'm sorry, not doing it up on camera, you can see. So there's one part lavender, plop. I want 2 parts lavender. If I was testing a bunch of blends, I would make a label for each jar. I've also in the past put little tags on each Q-tip. So if I wanted to just add another part lavender, I'd put another lavender Q-tip, and then I could go back and look and see how many I had. All right, there's my lavender. Then I need some lemongrass. I need 3 parts lemongrass, so I'm going to get 3 Q-tips. And I'm kind of wringing them out. So this, of course, is not an exact science, but it gives you a pretty accurate, I keep doing this out of camera shot, I apologize. Just wringing them around, kind of wringing them out, so I just have a little bit of the essential oil on that tip. This will be a good approximation of what your full blend will smell like once you do your actual measurements. This is the lovely Spearmint that we're not allowed to use so much of anymore. And I just need 1 part Spearmint. Instead of cedarwood on this one, we are doing the orange. Now, this is not the orange 5-fold, this is the orange sweet. I would use the orange 5-fold in the soap, but since citruses like orange always fade out and don't stick as strong in soap, I went ahead and said, hey, let's use the sweet orange, which I use in some of the, in a body butter I do. And it'll give a more accurate representation of what this will smell like once we lose some of the aroma from the saponification. And then finally, peppermint. And we will do 2 parts peppermint. That orange is really taking over my olfactory, that's your nose sniffers, right? My olfactory senses are really smelling that orange right now, which is great. But I'm thinking that might give us a little more sweet, fruity aroma to make our mind say, hey, yeah, that is, that's a peach, or what a peach tree might smell like. So a lot of it, we're kind of tricking our memory. All right, so there we go. I'll just leave those in there and I'll check them out tomorrow. I'll let you know what that smells like. I'll definitely report back. Let me set this aside. The rest of this Wet Soap Wednesday was spent making the gummy bear soaps. Go ahead and just search my channel or see the link below if you want to see us making those. But we're going to take a look at the finished gummy bear soaps and do some sniff testing right now. These gummy bear soaps are awesome. But I have them out so we could talk about the aroma. So the blend we used for them was lavender, lemongrass, spearmint, cedarwood, and a bit of peppermint. It has this scents are so hard to describe, but the aroma, and it has peppermint in it, but you don't smell it. It's like the peppermint kind of boosts and lifts that citrus scent to it from the lemongrass. And then that cedarwood just kind of gives you a nice outdoor kind of aroma. So to me, if this was peach soap that looked like peaches and not gummy bears, I would say, yeah, that smells like a fresh peach. It could be a little less spiky. So kind of like it has a hint, a strong hint on the back note. Now that we could very easily remove the peppermint or knock the lemongrass down. I had 3 parts lemongrass. We could very easily knock that down to 2 parts and have less of that. But I like that kind of spike on the end of it. I did do an extra sniff test on an alteration of the blend. And this is just my blend sheet that I had wrapped around it. And the only difference between what is in here and what we blended in here is I swapped out the cedarwood for orange, and we just put them on Q-tips. Now, notice, so I'm smelling, but I didn't even stick my nose in it. Do you notice that? I'm just wafting it around, and that gives you the aroma. This is definitely more, I think that orange does a really good job of the cedarwood for making it more citrusy, fruity, and I do like it. It's different, but it's really good. I think both of these could definitely work as it smells like fresh peaches. Remember, it doesn't smell like the sweet, sticky sweet peach candy or cooked peaches. What I'm saying with this blend is it's very much so like you are smelling the aroma of being around a bunch of fresh peaches, much like I was at that market where my booth buddy, the gal right next to me, was the peach lady who had a bunch of fresh peaches, and it smelled really, really, really good. Which one do I like better? The more orangey, citrusy one, or the one with the cedarwood? I don't know. I'm a sucker for cedarwood. I think you should blend them up both, or if you don't have one or the other, like you don't have cedarwood but you have orange, I think it works great. I also think that the peppermint is not required, but it does give a good carrier for the aromas to blend in. I think if you just did the lavender, lemongrass, and the orange, it would smell citrusy, but I think you'd be feeling like you were missing something. With the other blends, it kind of makes your nose kind of play and dig down into memories of what things should smell like. Hi Anna, hi Millie. So definitely like those. Those are great.